In this lesson, we'll make a few changes to our structural form and load it into an actual project. All right, so we've got a really neat looking form in place here. It's going to be the structure that's going to be holding up the glass panels for our bus stop. But I want to play around with this form just a little more. I want to make this look a little cooler. How it's set right now, we would have to have a ton of concrete columns to actually hold this up. So I'm going to make some adjustments to that, and I really want to make this into a really neat form. So I'm going to select that, and we're going to play around with our grid. So we don't have to have both selected. We can have one selected, none selected, just whatever we're working with. So I'm going to see how our structure looks if I turn off our U's. Oh, that's okay. That's a pretty neat structure, but it's not going to work for what I want. We're going to have a bunch of struts going through there, and I don't want that. It's kind of in the way here, and it's not going with the design, my design intent. So I'm going to turn those back on, but I'm going to turn off my V's, and I'm going to see what that does in terms of our structure here. All right, and I'm liking the way this looks here. So this looks pretty cool at this point. Let me go to my realistic view, make sure all our panels are still set in place, and they are. What I would like to do really quickly is to load this into a project at this point and see if we can't attach this to some concrete columns and really bring this to life, and maybe take this from a really basic structural concept for a roof to an actual bus stop design idea. So now we're going to load this into a project now that we've made this change. So it's kind of cool that we don't have all that structure there. This is pretty neat looking structure. Pretty unique. So I'm going to go to the R up here, and we're going to open up a new project, and it's going to be in the architectural template. And I'll control tab back to this project, and we're going to load this one right in here. Project 2, OK. And I'll say close. And it looks like we have a bunch of X's here, but it's just our view depth. We're only getting a portion of the structure in our view, but it's okay. I'm simply going to place that there. And right now we get a warning here, and that's because we've actually built a structure as opposed to maybe a solid box or square or something like that where we can actually mass in floors. And that's what this is letting us know. Hey guys, the mass you just created, you can't create floors from it, which I'm not too worried about that. This is going to be just a roof structure, so I'll escape. I'll X out of that, escape to get out of that command, jump to 3D view to kind of check on my progress here. I'm really liking this cool looking structure. It's pretty unique looking, especially for a bus stop. So now all we need to do really is create a nice column grid, and we're going to place some columns. And we probably don't even need to do a column grid, but we'll place some columns at these points here where these struts intersect. And that'll actually be supporting our roof structure here, and we'll be able to really bring this to life. So I'm going to go to second floor plan, see how that looks with my view depth. And I'm going to go to wireframe so I can see through. And so what my game plan is going to be at each one of these intersects is where we're going to place a column. So we're going to go to structure, column, and I want to go with a concrete circular column. So we're going to go structural columns. And we'll go concrete, and I want a circular concrete column. So we'll go with that one, open. And it's going to be holding up quite a bit, so it's going to need to be much larger than the 12-inch here. So we'll go with maybe the 30-inch. And I'm going to change that from a depth to a height. Keep it at 9 feet. We'll make some adjustments later if we need to. So we could try to place this now. We may actually have to have grids in place. Yeah. We'll go ahead and have that. We'll place the grids, but we already have the structure or the column in place, so that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and place my grids here. So we'll create one grid going from this area. We'll shoot it up going to there. And then I'll simply just stretch out that grid, just so it goes past my extents there, so I don't get lost in all the line work. And then I'm going to create some more that are going to go horizontally at each intersection. From there. And I can worry about the annotation a little bit later, once I really want to finalize this for documentation or finalize it for presentation. I'm not too worried about adjusting the annotation just yet. I really just want to get the grid lines in place so that I can get my structure in place. So get this first one here, get the next one. Making sure they are straight, and making sure I'm at these intersections here, and going past the extents. And again, you can come back and clean up all these lines and grids a little bit later. Again, I'm just worried about getting them in place so that I can get my structure in place. So now we can come back to structural column. We'll place it at the grids, and we'll just select our grids. And we'll automatically get our columns in place. I can come in here and check it out. Looks like they actually went up and actually went to the wrong level, but that's not a problem just yet. I can actually make that adjustment. We'll just Control Z out of that, go back to level 1. And that's because we were on level 1 when we set that. So got to make sure we're on the right level. So I'm going to go structural column, at grids, and I'll make that placement. And we'll green check mark once that's done. Take a look, and we're in good shape. We're in business here. Looks like I could probably add one more here. So I'm going to jump back to my level 1 plan. See where we're missing our column. So we're actually missing it from the 1, 2, 3, 4th intersection from the bottom. So I'll go back to that plan. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4th intersection. So right there. So we'll go column, and I'll place that column right there. We should be in good shape. Perfect. So we have a few more adjustments we need to make to this for it to work for our design. And in the next lesson, we'll go ahead and finish out this design and wrap up this course.